Hey guys, it's MMA Vulture coming at you live with Dana White's Contender Series Week 9 weigh-in recap, as well as my final picks for this week's Contender Series. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into the first bout of the night, being Sean Gauci versus Anthony Drilich. And I have to go with the side of Sean Gauci. I know that he didn't fight in between 2019 and 2022 because he actually had ulcerative colitis and he was actually unable to train during those years. But ever since his surgery, he has come back a lot better and a completely different fighter. He's currently on a win streak. He's got 5 wins in a row as of right now, a knockout over Nobuyoshi, decision over Haiwan Lee, and he looked good in those bouts. I feel like he's a good striker that mixes up his shots very well to the head and to the body. He's got quick hands. He's a good grappler. He's got strong takedowns. I feel like here he's going to have the grappling advantage. I feel like he's going to be the more dangerous grappler here. He does have a win over Steve Erceg as well. So that is something that is very interesting. And now jumping over to the Anthony Drilich side, he's a good striker with quick hands as well. He's got clean, crisp combinations. He's got snappy leg kicks, high and low. He does have knockout power. I feel like he's a decent grappler that kind of... I wouldn't say he doesn't have grappling abilities. I just feel like in the grappling department, it's definitely going to be Sean Gauci that has the advantage in that. I feel like in the striking department, it's going to be a lot closer on the feet. Anthony Drilich is a great striker, same with Gauci, but I think Gauci's just going to outstrike him, overwhelm him, and use the takedowns, mix in his takedowns very well, level change very well, and ultimately get the better of Anthony Drilich on the feet and in the grappling department. And if he has any trouble on the feet, he will go back to that grappling. He's got good grappling. He attacks submissions, and he is a good grappler. Give me Sean Gauci to beat Anthony Drilich. And let's look at them on the scales, in which we have Anthony Drilich first. He's looking good, looking healthy, looking strong. And let's look at Sean Gauci. Same thing, looking jacked, looking healthy, mean mugging a little bit. He's ready for war against Anthony Drilich, in which I think he's going to get the better of him. Let's look at the face-off here. And as you can see, Sean Gauci is a slight bit taller, and he kind of looks like he fills out a little bit more than a Anthony Drilich, who looks slightly more diminished. And they did, I do want to note, have to bring out the box for Anthony Drilich, so it wasn't the best weight cut for him. It was probably a little bit draining, but I think I gotta go with the side of Sean Gauci. And let's look at the odds on this, in which Sean Gauci is a negative 195 and Anthony Drilich is a plus 165. I think Gauci could get this done. I like Gauci by decision. I think that this definitely goes to decision. I really don't see either of these two finishing each other early, if I'm going to be honest. I like Gauci by decision. And Gauci's sitting at negative 195. Let's look at him by decision. Gauci by decision sitting at a plus 150, plus 175. So the odds makers agree that it's probably going to go to decision. I like Gauci by decision, and I see a lot of value in the money line here. I really think that he does beat Anthony Drilich, and he has the clear-cut grappling advantage, and he's going to fare well on the feet. Give me Sean Gauci to beat Anthony Drilich. And let's move along to the next fight, in which we have Islem Dulatov versus Vanilto Antunes. And in this fight, I got to go with Islem Dulatov, the Ripper. He's a savage, man. He's a freaking savage. He's coming off of 5 fight win streak, and he's got a nasty knockout with a knee to the body on John Paleologos, and then also has a submission on Will Chope. He's a great striker with a quick, stiff jab. He has knockout power. Not only that, he has nasty knees and elbows on the inside. He, like I said, got a knee knockout against John Paleologos, and he looked great doing it. He's a good grappler. He's not only a great striker, he's a good grappler that's strong in the clinches, has strong takedowns, and looks phenomenal in both areas. I think that he is the real deal, and he's going to be great in this welterweight division. I think he's going to run through Vanilto and Antunes. I really do. Antunes. I really do. Antunes, let's flip over to his side. He's a great Muay Thai fighter with good striking. He's got clean, quick combinations. He does have the knockout power to go along with Islem as well. I feel like the one thing that Antunes kind of lacks in is the grappling department. I really feel like he lacks in the grappling department. He's got 4 losses to submissions, and he just doesn't look good in the grappling department. I feel like Islem has the clear-cut grappling advantage. I feel like Antunes is definitely going to look good in the striking department, but I feel like Islam Dulatov is definitely going to fare just as well in the striking department as Antunes. They're both dangerous strikers on the feet. Islam Dulatov is a fast starter that will pressure and make Antunes very uncomfortable. But don't forget, Antunes is a great striker, but he does lack in the grappling department. So give me Islam Dulatov, and I think he could end it by submission. I really do. I like Islam Dulatov by submission. I think he takes Antunes down and finds that neck or that arm. And let's look at them on the scales, in which we have Islam Dulatov first. He's looking jacked, absolutely ripped. And they said that he's 6'6", but he's actually 6'3". That'd be insane. 6'6", jacked as hell like this. He looks healthy. He looks ready for war. And let's flip over to Antunes. It looks a little bit funny, I'm not gonna lie. He's got that funny smile. He looks like a savage, man. I feel like he doesn't look as jacked as the other one, but he still looks good. He still looks healthy. He looks ready for war. And let's look at the face-off between these two, in which you can tell Islam Dulatov is definitely taller, has the height advantage, has a slight reach advantage as well, and he looks a little bit more filled out, but given, so does Antunes. I think this is going to be a banger fight between these two, but I think overall Islam Dulatov is just a beast, and he's going to get rid of Antunes. And I think it's going to be via submission. Let's look at the odds now, in which we have Islam Dulatov sitting at a -750. So the odds maker agreed that Dulatov is going to run over Antunes, in my opinion. I really do think so. And let's look over 2.5, sitting at a +240. I think it goes under 2.5. If I'm going to be completely honest, I see Islam Dulatov getting the finish, whether it's knockout or submission. I am going the route of submission. I think he has the clear-cut grappling advantage over Antunes. So let's look at that. Dulatov inside distance is -325 if you want to use that. That's if you want to take less risk and not do the submission or knockout, you can do inside the distance. And Dulatov by KO sitting at a +150, like I said, it's definitely likely. He's a fast starter that blitzes people, and he's got great power in his hands. And submission sitting at a +125. Like I said, clear-cut grappling advantage. I feel like he's going to wear down Antunes, take him down to the ground, find that neck, find that arm, and get Antunes out of there via submission. Give me Islam Dulatov to beat Antunes via submission. It's twice now I almost messed up with saying decision over submission. Islam Dulatov via submission. And let's move to the next bout on this card, in which we have Mario Pinto versus Lucas Camacho. And I like this fight. I think this fight is going to be very interesting, in which I feel like this fight is very close. I am going with the Mario Pinto side. I got to go with the more patient and selective fighter. I feel like he's the more technical fighter as well at a D2. I feel like Mario Pinto is a good slick striker that likes to strike from the outside, has a quick, stiff jab, has great footwork to put him in places to use his slick striking to the best of his abilities. He's a decent grappler that has good takedown defense. And something I do want to note is in his last fight against Kazman Araz, he picked him apart and beat the crap out of him. He looked good doing so. Mario Pinto looked absolutely phenomenal picking apart Kazman Araz and beating the crap out of him. And let's jump to the Lucas Camacho side, who is a tough, durable fighter. And I don't think he's by any means out of this fight. Yes, I'm going the Mario Pinto side, but Lucas Camacho is a dog. He will not give up. He is a tough son of a bitch. He's got a strong chin. He's a good striker. I feel like sometimes he does look a little bit clunky and awkward at times in his striking. But either way, he is somebody that will not give up. You can be beating the crap out of him. He will not give up. He will sit there and brawl with you until the very end or until you put his lights out. And that's kind of why I like Lucas Camacho, but I'm still going the Mario Pinto route because I think he's the cleaner, more technical fighter. Lucas Camacho, I also am worried about his chin a little bit. He did get knocked down in his fight against Uriel. He was losing that fight, but ultimately he came back. Like I said, he doesn't give up and knocked out Uriel. He looked good in doing so too. He's a tough son of a bitch. He thrives off of a dirty brawl type of fight. And I think that if he can make this a dirty brawl, he could catch Mario Pinto. I really do feel like he could catch him. But I'm still going the Mario Pinto route because I really feel like if Mario Pinto can keep his distance, this is his fight 100%. If Lucas Camacho can make it a dirty brawl, enter the pocket and exit the pocket with ease, and not let Mario Pinto touch him, I think Lucas Camacho, that's his key to victories. But like I said, give me Mario Pinto. I think he's going to be the more patient, selective fighter. I think he's going to pick apart Lucas Camacho. Yes, Lucas Camacho is dangerous, has power in his hands, has heavy hands. But I think Mario Pinto is going to pick him apart. He's the slicker striker, and he's going to get it done on the feet. Give me Mario Pinto to beat Lucas Camacho. And let's look at them on the scales, in which we have Lucas Camacho first, looking jacked, looking healthy. I feel like he's looking slightly pudgy, but still looks good, looks ready for war against a Mario Pinto. And let's look at Mario Pinto on the scales. He's looking a little bit chubby too. I feel like they both don't look that lean, but as the heavier weights come up, they don't look the best, but looking healthy, looking jacked, staring down. And let's look at the face-off, in which I do want to mention something. After this face-off, they literally stared at each other even after the next fighters came up. They were staring down each other the entire time. It was insane, to be honest. And I think Camacho actually ended up looking away first because of his coaches talking to him. But it was intense, man. These two had an intense face-off. And as you can see, Camacho, I mean, they're basically same height. Camacho looks very, very, very slightly taller. But they both look filled out. They both look big. Man, I like Mario Pinto's side. I think he's going to pick him apart. And let's look at the odds here, in which the odds agree. I feel like Mario Pinto is going to pick apart Lucas Camacho and outstrike him, overwhelm him, and overall just be the better fighter. But I'm not discrediting Lucas Camacho because he is a dog, bro. I'm scared for this fight. I really wouldn't touch this fight in terms of betting. I'm very lenient on this one because I feel like it could go either way. I feel like Lucas Camacho has that dog in him and will not give up and can land that strike, that knockout strike. But give me Mario Pinto either way. And I like the over in this, over 1.5, sitting at a -185. I see value in that. I feel like Mario Pinto route, negative 650, there's not really much value, and I would kind of stick away from that if I were you guys. Give me Mario Pinto to beat Lucas Camacho, and I think he does it via decision, if I'm going to be honest. I think that Pinto, yes, could get the knockout, but I feel like he doesn't get it done. Nah, honestly, I'm gonna go Pinto knockout only for one reason. I think he's gonna pick him apart, and I think Camacho's eventually gonna start tiring out as the later rounds come. I feel like second round knockout by Pinto is very live, so give me Pinto by knockout in the second round. I feel like he wears him down. He wears a Camacho down. I feel like first round he's not going to get that knockout. He's going to land some nice strikes, kind of find that distance. And second round, I feel like he's going to blitz him and absolutely destroy Lucas Camacho. And let's look at the next bout, which is the co-main event, in which we have somebody that is returning in Kody Steele. He was previously supposed to fight Quamel Otani, who pulled out and decided he's just not a fighter at the last second in Dana White's Contender Series. And for good reason. I mean, Kody Steele is a beast, and that's who I'm picking in this fight. I picked him last fight. I'm picking him in this fight. I think he is a great striker with fast hands. I feel like he closes the distance really, really well. He's got snappy low kicks to go with his fast hands. He's a good grappler, too. He's not only a good striker, he's a good grappler, too. He's got strong takedowns. He's got phenomenal submissions. He looks great in the clinch. I think Kody Steele is the overall better fighter. And I don't want to take anything from Chasen Blair. He's a great striker, but I feel like he isn't up to par with somebody like Kody Steele. Chasen Blair has a quick, stiff jab, has that knockout power. I will say that. And he is a good grappler as well. But I think offensively, I feel like Kody Steele is the better grappler. He's the more dangerous submission artist as well. Chasen Blair has decent reversals. He's got good takedowns. But I think if we're going to be honest, I think Kody Steele is all around the better fighter on the feet and in the grappling department. I feel like he's more dangerous. Give me Kody Steele to beat Chasen Blair. And let's look at them on the scales, in which we have Chasen Blair looking absolutely jacked. He looks good. He's mean mugging with a straight face. He's healthy. He looks good. Let's look at Kody Steele, the dog. He looks healthy, making weight again in short amount of time after previously being on the Contender Series. But I wouldn't worry about the weight cut, as Chasen Blair is also coming off of a recent fight and also had to deal with weight cut, so I don't see any disadvantage in that department for either fighter. And let's look at the face-off, in which you could see, I feel like Kody Steele is a little bit more filled out, but they both look healthy. They both look jacked. I like the Kody Steele route on this one. I really think that he gets it done against Chasen Blair. Kody Steele is a dog. And let's look at the odds on this fight, in which we have Kody Steele sitting at a negative 260 and Chasen Blair sitting at a plus 200. I like Kody Steele. I really see a lot of value in this negative 260 money line. I like Kody Steele. I liked him against Quamel Otani, and I like him here against Chasen Blair. I think it's even better against Chasen Blair here. I really like Kody Steele to beat him. And I like the over 1.5. I definitely see this going to the decision, to be completely honest. I think these are both two competitive-ass fighters, and Kody Steele will get the better of Chasen Blair on the feet and in the grappling department. I feel like he's the overall more well-rounded fighter over Chasen Blair. And let's look at Kody Steele to win inside the distance, sitting at a plus 125. Win by decision, plus 165. I like Kody Steele to win by decision, plus 165. I see a lot of value in the plus 165. Like I said, you can do that, or maybe if you don't want to take as much risk You can go Kody Steele money line at -260. You're still getting great value on that line as well. Give me Kody Steele to beat Chasen Blair. And let's move to the main event. If you guys haven't, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And let's get into the main event, in which we have Artem Vakhitov versus Islem Masraf. And I've been going back and forth with these two and who to pick. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like it's going to surprise a lot of you guys, but I got to go the Islem Masraf route. Listen, I get that Vakhitov is a great striker. I do get that, and I do worry about the stand-up game. I feel like Islem Masraf is a good striker with one-punch knockout power, has snappy leg kicks, high and low. I feel like sometimes he does get a little bit wild, but very rarely. He's a good grappler that likes to sweep into takedowns. He's got nasty, nasty ground and pound. I think Islem Masraf has all the boxes checked in the sense that he's a good grappler and a good striker. Yes, I feel like Vakhitov is going to have the striking advantage, but in terms of the grappling, Islem Masraf definitely has a grappling advantage. And let's talk about Vakhitov, who is a good striker with one-punch knockout power as well as Islam. He mixes up his shots to the head and to the body well. He has an arsenal of kicks. He's got questionable grappling. That's one thing I really wanted to bring up about Vakhitov. He has questionable grappling. I don't know how good his grappling is looking at these fights. Sorry, my alarm. Looking at these fights. I really feel like Islem Masraf has a clear-cut grappling advantage, and I feel like he is a dangerous striker, and he can fare well against Vakhitov in the striking department. I feel like Vakhitov, yes, has a striking advantage, but I feel like it's not an overwhelming, amount. I feel like it's fairly close in the striking department, and definitely a huge difference in the grappling department. They both have nasty ground and pound, yes, but Vakhitov, if Islem Masraf gets him down, Vakhitov is not going to have a clue of what to do, how to get up. I feel like Masraf will absolutely destroy him on the ground. Give me Islem Masraf to beat Vakhitov. I worry about the stand-up side of things, but I think Masraf is going to fare well in the stand-up game and beat Vakhitov. And if he has any trouble, he will go to that grappling. Vakhitov does not have grappling. He has questionable grappling. We don't know how good his grappling is, and I feel like it's not really there. And Masraf looked good in his KO against Grogu. He had a head kick that the guy came out, instantly head kicks him, knocks him out. In which we have Vakhitov over here coming off of a knockout of a low kick, which the opponent kind of just gave up. It was really weird. And same with this, punches, he kind of just, Salikov kind of just let him get full mount. Didn't really fight the full mount at all. Didn't try to attack him or stop him from gaining the full mount position, which was really weird as well. I'm not saying anything's fixed or anything. It's just really weird to me. And in this, he ended up having an injury while landing devastating ground and pound. That's how we know he has great ground and pound. And ended up getting injured and lost. Islem Masraf, again, looked great in his head kick against Grogu. Looked great in his knockout against Grundon. He is a dog, man. I like Islem Masraf. And let's look at these scales with these two, in which you have Vakhitov first. Looks great on the scales. Looks jacked. Looks healthy. And let's move along to Masraf, who looks even more jacked. He looks filled out. He looks like a savage, if I'm going to be completely honest. This makes me even more confident with my pick as Masraf. He looks like the stronger fighter, and if he can take Vakhitov down, I feel like it's a clear-cut win for Masraf. He's going to land some devastating ground and pound if he can get Vakhitov down. And let's look at the face-off between these two, in which they look, Vakhitov looks slightly taller. I feel like Masraf looks a little bit more filled out, maybe slightly pudgy in the abdominal region, but still, I feel like he's gonna be the better fighter out of the two. Yes, Vakhitov is gonna be the better striker. I feel like have the striking advantage. I feel like Masraf's still gonna fare well in that department. Let's look at the odds between these two, in which we have Masraf sitting at a plus 375, Vakhitov sitting at a negative 475. And I like the Masraf fight, or side of things. I think it's live. Over 1.5 sitting at a plus 150. I do think that this goes over 1.5. I'm going to be honest. I see the side of, like, yes, people are going to think Vakhitov is going to catch Masraf, but I don't think so. I think Masraf could take down Vakhitov if he has any trouble on the feet. I like the over 1.5. I like the Masraf route. And Masraf via decision is a plus 1,000. Wow. Masraf via KO plus 600. I like the Masraf route. They really think that Vakhitov is going to knock out Masraf, and they have it at a negative 350, as you guys can see. Wow. I think this fight is going to be a lot closer than people expect. I feel like Islem, Masraf definitely can fare well in the striking department, but fare even better in the grappling department, where he has the obvious grappling advantage. I think he's going to take down Vakhitov, and we could see this going the distance. I like the overs in this, and if you guys haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!